I asked myself, what is substance? Well, I guess the definition of it is this. Something which doesn't make you sound like a kid once it's scripted. You know, something of some sustenance. I'm finding out more and more that this spoken word law can be coming with its own kind of politics. Having to think about showing my public side as well as having my own private persona. But just how personal is this poetry to me if it doesn't allow me to go as deep as I want it? You know, putting rose tints and sugar coats on the truth. I pride myself on being a writer that's 100% factual. But with that being my main point of delivery, it's also true that it can't always be 100% tactful. I'm starting to find out that my words can get underneath skin and press people's nerves. And that sounds quite bad. They'll say I got a gift of the gab, but when it's put like this, I'm not quite sure if that's a gift or a curse. See, I could either tell a beautiful subterfuge or a very ugly truth, but which one of them's worse? You could just say it's all down to the writer. And there used to be a day when I'd even agree, but if I said that today, then that would just make me a liar. See, today I share this poem to shed light on the fact I couldn't share my other poem, despite the artist side of myself being so very tempted. I really thought about it. I even slept on it. Shared it with 4 other people close to me, but the general consensus is that most people were going to be offended. But still, I chose not to water it down, and I chose not to lie in anything that I write. I just had to come up with a different type of acceptance. And I had to accept that sometimes what I write is just too real. It's never going to be ready for any stage or turn into any filming. Sometimes what I write, it will just be mine. So whether they like it or not, it stays in my archives, and to me, that's just fine. Sometimes what I write, it's only going to be for me. Because there's certain subject matters to talk on out here where you can't really be too PC. Well, I could if I'm told to, but in that case, I'm not really being that true to me. Like if I'm having to change the title of something that I wrote, or having to overly explain the reason as to why I came up with certain quotes, you know what? I most probably won't. I mean, you've all heard of the artist's right to free expression, right? Well, I ask myself if this even exists. Because I only feel free enough to say, if it's that close to the knuckle, people will definitely struggle to hear what I had to lay. And to me, that was just a needed lesson. I mean, of course, I'm always still riding with the Lord, but I know that my double-edged sword could easily be perceived as being an evil weapon. So sometimes I've got to pull the reins in and check it. I mean, I do get it, it's not totally politically correct. But if it's a genuine thought I've had in my head, an opinion or something that actually really did happen, well, then it doesn't really need any correction. But it's cool because I get it. So I just play the game because reality is perception and real life is deception. So what's the message? Well, I guess it would be cool to talk about absolutely anything, even if it's taboo. But just as long as I don't address that big white elephant. I guess in some circumstances, silence really is golden. And in saying that, I'll say this. I'm not going to compromise anything that I say which has major points in it that to me seem relevant. Thank you.